Hi, my name's Tony Ridley, and once again welcome to another Crisis Leadership and Management Education tutorial. In this section here we're discussing stakeholder analysis, planning, evaluations and communications. This subset we're addressing is the project management and dashboard views of ensuring that we implement a communication project strategy. So we've identified, we've evaluated the networks and the stakeholders, the relevance. We now need to map out and make sure that we have a project schedule and timeline based on all of that analysis. So one of the first stages is to qualify the stakeholders, their main interests and categories. This is particularly pertinent in the event of new stimulus or events or updates, to make sure that we don't inadvertently or deliberately miss a key stakeholder because we didn't adequately qualify them or the research and analysis was lost. Exactly what is the key action points of engagement, informing, and what measures we're putting in place to make sure, whether it's an automated RSS feed or we're sending them information by courier or we're making a phone call, all of those, or we put them on the email distribution, all those sorts of things we need to break down at the very fundamental top level before we start to progress into the specifics of the project management plan. So again, we need to identify, first of all, the outcomes, then the subject that we're going to communicate, the stakeholders themselves, their priority, what needs to be done, what their status is, when it needs to be done by, and who is going to implement it. So basic accountability, basic documentation, again, depending on how you integrate with either software or systems or project management tools or email communication systems or online cloud-based project management systems, is making sure that there is clear communication, objectives, content and measurable accountability and specific deadlines and timelines as they relate to either the message and or the status and the interest of the stakeholder. Then as part of our communication reporting plan, it should be a documented log process. So whether it's a stakeholder, whether it's an event, whether it's a decision point, whether it's a revision, all of these version control elements from the QA, QC, quality assurance, quality control perspective are paramount to make sure that we're validating and we're verifying all of the things that we said we were going to do to ensure that they actually have been done, so we can either go back and reference them, we've got them for accountability purposes, investigations, insurance, and for general continuity, particularly when we emphasize the sustainability and handover of our tier ones, tier twos and our replacements in the event that we're unavailable or we have more pressing matters to deal with. Breaking that down, simplified version with the current understanding when the last time they received a version or an update, because again, that's equally important. For whatever reason, if they fall out of the information circle or they were incommunicado for that particular time, they could have been traveling, they didn't answer their phone, they didn't read the email, whatever the case may be, is identifying exactly where they are in the information. You don't want to launch into a detailed brief with an expectation that they've understood, read and digested the previous two other communications if that's not the case. Who took the action, what follow-up actions are required, and again, accountability and ownership at all stages is vital, common sense, but again, often overlooked. And also, in much the same way as organisations document client engagements or analytical research groups and trial elements with pre-releases for movies and so on, you have to do the same thing. You have to understand, how did they receive the information? What was their response? What was their comments? What do we think they're going to do? Did they give us any insights into their opinion, positioning, or courses of actions themselves? Again, all of this should be documented because it becomes fodder and decision points for the executive guidance and decision making within our crisis management group. So again, every little piece of information is relevant, every piece of communication is pertinent, and we should collate all of this and put it into a simplified dashboard or certainly a journal in which we can reference, search, extrapolate, correlate, and make sure that it all plays to our final objectives. So again, that's just a brief synopsis and an overview on some of our reporting and communication connectivity and synergies. That's it for this particular section. on communications. For further information, education tutorials on crisis, leadership and management, please visit the website at www.crisismanagement.tony-ridley.com. That's all for now. Thanks and bye.